The following show contains a fictional narrative that includes themes, events, and language that some may find distressing. Discretion is advised.
Welcome to This Line is Insecure, where my side is the only side. I like apricots, and my name is sometimes Libby. I've got a very, very nice evening planned for these players, depending on what you think nice is. If you think nice is feeling quite mentally ill, boy, oh boy, they're in for a ride. A good ride. But before we go on with that deliciously awesome ride that I'll be giving each of these players tonight in full HD color, let's get a fantastical introduction from the folks that I've almost forgotten. It's been a fucking month, the holidays. Please tell me your names and what you do and stuff.
I feel like I've just been physically assaulted by the things you've said.
That's no problem.
My name is Ty, and I play a man named Reed Hollis. He used to be a deputy marshal. Now, God knows what this guy is. Who knows what he's up to? All we know is that he is somewhere that is real. On to you, Charlie.
My name's Charlie, play Adam Blackburn, Agent Meridian, and yeah, it's been so long since I've recorded, I have no real thing to say, so.
Hey all, I'm Andy, and I play Dr. Alexander Shoemaker, otherwise known as Agent Merchant, who has been on the slippery slope of Sandloss for this entire season. He now believes himself to be the understudy to the writer of the play, and recently murdered someone with a typewriter, but redeemed himself by blowing up a paper tiger and saving Millstone. So, I'm just glad to be here.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's my turn, I think. I'm Hawk. I play Agent Miranda, sometimes known as Heather's daughter. Recent obtainee of a very pretty broken nose as a result of the scramble away from the collapsing library area in which we had attempted to gather some morphine. I try to do things with computers and electricity, but mostly what I do is complain about everything really lately. And sort of smile winsomely at people who say the most unhinged things in the world. That's about it for me.
Awesome. Do you guys think they call them grandma strokes because grandmas have them? Doesn't matter. Let's move on to the recap. Hawk, go ahead and
I can go ahead and stroke off.
Listening to just that small, even condensed recap there, it made me realize something. Not Charlie.
Adam Lambert.
Andy.
Yeah.
Andy is the main character of this show.
He's the Kobe.
He's giving main character.
I'm not giving me. No, don't do that. I'm just in the center for the moment because my Sandloss is funniest.
Area.
Yeah.
Where were we? Oh, I think I recall. Imagine you're in the world's worst mental institution. That mental institution, the Dorchester House, is filled with people who at night get even worse. And I don't mean in a mental health way. I mean in some sort of like ontological sense. They become a worse version of themselves is certainly what it seems like to me. Anyway, one of them asked us to find some morphine, so we tried to go to the pharmacy, which turned out to also be a library, which, given that some of us appeared to pull hand grenades out of pockets and tried to pull other objects out of books, and there was a tiger made of paper, and we did, in fact, find a bottle of morphine there, as I recall. No, we didn't. That's right. We just found a tiger, tried to blow it up, and hurt ourselves. I broke my nose. Millstone dislocated his shoulder and got singed. Merchant shoulder?
Merchant is fine.
Merchant is fine.
We'd all agree with that.
It's important that everyone knows.
Is
Merchant
like
is totally fine.
100% hit points.
And
Sand that is respectable and frankly attractive.
I mean, that last part is certainly true. Because we've clearly attracted a lot of positive attention. As much as I talk about how people here are the worst versions of themselves, they've been helping us out. These people who I just said were worse are still helping us. Ed Wist helped us run down the corridor, helping Miranda stagger her way back to safety as we ran from the collapsing library. We ran into Manuel again from the McAllister, and he told us that the blood coming out of Miranda's broken nose was the much vaunted Patsu that Maximo Friend, had mentioned multiple times. And then we found a phone. Merchant was in a conversation with his contact friend from the past future. This person he said was the writer, some guy, I don't know, Bale, Sunshine, something like that.
The author.
Reed was a little more focused in on Top Chick being part of the conversation, and we heard the last little bit from Bale's conversation, saying something about Dara Bondi having just finished with the children, and how this fella, Gary, is coming much further along, and it's important that we know they all have to die. I mean, unfortunately, that's how I remember it.
So last time we spoke, when we met, which was, again, a million years ago, thanks to the holidays, you had walked into Bale's office, so to speak, where he was kind of on a stack of books squatted, had a phone call going on with what appeared to be Gary Topchick, who you saw out in the kind of fishbowl area of the Dorchester, moments before. And he had just said to Merchant that he was waiting. He was waiting for Merchant to arrive. The moment is kind of tense and filled with all this anxiety and anticipation at what the next words are going to be from this, kind of a soothsayer-looking kind of dude. He's got this weird crown that's made of maybe like tongue depressors and some cough, like lozenge wrappers, maybe a piece of the vent that either fell away or was ripped away. But surely it's a crown, and you definitely know that he is the one worthy of wearing it. He definitely has that kind of atmosphere, that presence that he's really cultivating in this room. And before he can get that last kind of, I guess the first part of his next sentence out, our good friend Ed Wist, our good friend, he pulls the bottom off of one of those nice confetti streamer popping things. I don't know what they're called. I was homeschooled, but the nice
popper.
Thank you very much.
Poppers.
Pulls a popper, as the kids say. Confetti goes all over the room. I imagine some number of you flinch. Who knows? But certainly the moment, much of the tension drains from the moment when Ed kind of looks around like, that good? And Bale says, "Thank you, Ed. You may go. It's certainly helpful to have some fanfare and confetti sometimes, but, well, good job. Ed kind of does a very happy, like, oh, yes, I did a good job, kind of nod, and then shuffles his way out of the room in his own Ed way. On the way out, he, without a word of open or closed, Ed Wist firmly shuts the door behind him. You hear some number of locks, bolts, snapping, as if he is engaging the lock on the outside of the door, as if there's many locks on the outside of the door, as a matter of fact, but you didn't see any on the way in. There may have been a deadbolt or two that you missed, but certainly you didn't miss 8 or 9 clicking lock mechanisms. I'll let you be worried about that if you want to be. Bale sits there now and motions to smaller stacks of books. Stacks that you could comfortably sit on and have your legs touch the floor. Think a stool, but of books instead. He asks each of you if you would like tea or if you would like coffee.
Coffee, please.
I'm having a tea moment. I'll take some tea. You got a English breakfast?
He looks down at the pile of books that he is squatted on and says, "Yeah,
Merchant, who hasn't had a full night's sleep in approximately 20 years, says, I'll take your strongest coffee.
No.
I'm glad you brought up no. That was a third option I hadn't brought up. No worries. Have a seat and make yourselves comfortable. He hops off this kind of tall stack of books. Acrobatically would be much too much to say, but certainly well on his feet, hits the ground, goes behind the stack of books, and in a very, cartoony kind of TARDIS, bigger on the inside kind of thing, he steps behind the stack of books and doesn't come out the other side. He just kind of steps behind and then isn't there, and comes back out and has a tray filled with your drink choice and walks to each of you. And as he does, you can see that, there may have been some question of whether he was like some kind of mythical beast or like some kind of creature if you were far away and you couldn't see in the dimly lit room. But at this point, you realize that he's just a dude. He's just a normal guy. He looks like he's probably in his mid-30s or so, some fading stubble. It does have the classic Libby hairdo, minus the cool stash, right? So he's got the 5 o'clock shadow all the way around kind of thing going on. He is perhaps Ty, yeah. I mean, certainly not quite as bald, but we can draw the
Or hot.
yeah, or hot, dude. You know what I mean? That's a great thing to bring up. But he is still pretty, as far as peeps can be, he's pretty good looking too. Clearly muscular, not jacked, but clearly muscular. You wouldn't be surprised. Well, actually, you know what? We freaking Merchant sure as shit knows almost immediately this guy, if he was a living human being, was a veteran or would be a veteran. He's definitely just got that thing going on about him that you really understand. Very, very sure way of walking, a very, very competent air. Those of you who have a decently high human would probably know that as well. And if you didn't know that right away, over the course of the conversation, you would kind of gather that if he had a life, it was one in some kind of military force. He doesn't speak with an accent. He speaks, as if he is from where you are from, so to speak, right? None of you would really notice anything special about the way he speaks, except that he's very careful and strings his words together pretty closely. It's not slurring, but he really, once he's got a sentence, he says the sentence, and all the words kind of come out at one good go, which is quite unlike Libby, so I hope our viewers enjoy the crazy bullshit about to happen. So I guess now, after you've got your drinks, he hops back on top of his little perch and says, "My conversation with Merchant is one that will be saved best for last. So until then, I think now may be a great time for each of you to ask questions about the places and the times, realities even, that you've been involved in. I sure know that when I first read or wrote, it was quite difficult for me to comprehend the way that the king does things." You hear now the sound of sunrise. You hear the sound of birds tweeting outside. You hear the sound of cars driving through the streets, the sound of people having discussions. And even though you know, or you think, that you haven't been brought to a new place, heavy air quotes for our audio listeners, you do get the feeling that the sun is rising. You kind of get this feeling like you have been in the dark for a while, and that maybe, just maybe, you will get a peek at the sunrise. Will you get full high noon? Likely not. But something about the way that you feel now is hopeful, whether you'd like it to be or not. Okay? And he waits.
So how do you know Merchant exactly?
He gets off his books, walks over to you or close to you, and he gets pretty close. He's now, and he's not said any words yet, and he's really looking at you, getting close to you, and no ill intent here, but would you allow him to get, within arm's distance of you, or would you think Merchant
Sure.
would?
Oh, Merchant. Sorry.
Yeah,
not
Merchant, yeah.
Miranda.
You're good.
Yeah, Merchant's going to allow it. He remembers their conversation.
He puts his hand on your shoulder, kind of proud dad vibes. He's not like giving you the shoulder massage, but he's resting it there firmly. And he says, "Merchant, you are sunshine. The one out there. You don't die at the end. Everyone else does, but you live and become a shriveled mass of sadness."
Merchant mildly convulses at this thought.
Roll sand.
Just like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just like that. He confirms the sunshine theory, just like you're just dropping that on
All
us.
of you roll sand.
Goddamn.
All of you roll sand.
Fuck you.
You're welcome.
All right,
Okay.
fine.
All right, let's...
8.
8 is probably not going to do it, huh? Oh, wait. That does do it. Damn, Delta Green's weird, huh? Keep going.
89 over 45.
39 under 49.
24 under 49. I am fucking killing
Hey,
it.
we have the same Sand sisters.
Oh my god. For those
I am unbothered by this revelation.
No, you're all bothered, some more than others. So if you succeeded, you lose 1. If you failed, you lose 2.
That's somebody else's problem.
Yeah, the revelation, I think maybe it would be good to call out for those who perhaps aren't catching it as quickly. Some of you found out that you die, and one of you found out that you don't die.
Mhm.
But I really feel like the one who doesn't die has the bad end of the stick here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
The fact that I die and that Merchant is sunshine is all my bitch daughter's fault.
yeah,
So true.
I think so. Emily's to blame.
You gonna push that sand loss?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I just felt like saying that.
Gotcha.
I legitimately do just blame my dad for bringing me into this world, I guess. I guess Miranda's response is, okay, that seems broadly inconsequential to the wider... I keep expecting, a flat to fall away and for us to see a wider landscape, but it seems like time after time, the curtain goes up and we walk out on stage to another stage facing us, and then that curtain goes up and there's nothing behind all of it, just a bunch of highly repetitive and highly derivative nonsense.
I honestly, I gotta second that. You said to ask about how the king does things. Does he make it like boring?
On purpose?
He chuckles and he's like, he might. Certainly you're the first to say that it's boring, but I suppose that's the joy in what the king creates. You each experience it separately, but it's all the same.
Sure. The conflict... Hold on, actually. This is a thing that's been sticking with me the whole time.
He gets back on his books.
Are we both performers and audience in this shindig, or is there an intended end audience here? Is it just for us?
He says, you are all, yes, both, and I'll do the best I can to remain descriptive and understandable, but the best way to really give you an answer is that at the end, there's a party. At the end, there's a masquerade. And that end is the beginning. That is where the author finds himself and begins the play all over.
Mhm.
And he will always begin the play all over, even though you will probably find his bottle and you'll probably get it to him as you have before, and he probably won't get it in time. But even if he did, something tells me that the king would see it go on, because that is really all the king does. See it go on. Not really put it on or watch it from afar, but see it goes on.
So it sounds like what you're telling us is like the reality that we know that we lived in our whole lives before we saw the sign is just sort of the effluvia, the detritus, the fallout from a perpetual act of creation from some sort of demiurge.
Have you been reading again, Millstone?
You have a Kindle. I see the Kindle in your pocket. Is that a Kindle?
It's a Nook.
It's a Nook, a Barnes and Noble.
This is 25th. Yeah, no, it's time
that's
for
pretty
it.
good. He says, quite well-worded question. There is only Carcosa. There is only the end. There is only a state, not a place or reality. It's a state, a frequency that your mind can tune into. It's the city superpositions itself over everything. A rooftop in New York, ancient Persia, a soundstage in Hollywood. It is all Carcosa. He doesn't rule that city, but he is the signal that makes you understand it or makes you receive it. It is always Carcosa.
So you're talking about some sort of like ground of all situation, like
Some
a
sort
like
of
a ground
block time?
of being. Yeah.
No, it's much more like a curtain. Though I hate stooping to the level to utilize the whole reaching through the curtain speech, it really is the best way to understand. A curtain that has been worn over time, I suppose, and matter and space and all those things, it wears differently in different places. Places like...
Sure, but I'm tired of fucking hearing about curtains, though. A curtain, what does a curtain do? It covers. Covering what? A curtain covering fucking what?
Well, I understand your anger. A curtain can cover things, but it can also excite people. It can promise something that's beyond it. And I suppose that is what this curtain does. What the impossibility of it all really means is that there is something worth looking into, something worth reaching, if for no other reason than to do it all over again. Carcosa is, the end and the beginning, and everywhere else is there, but everywhere else is thinner or thicker of a barrier curtain. The McAllister, the Boxer Hotel, the Broadlebin Hotel, all of these, the Dorchester, where he looks down at a book and he uses his toe to open the front cover and looks at what must just be the publication page. Dorchester? We're Dorchester, yeah? The Dorchester.
Currently.
They are all places where the king's influence has grown thick, much like a river.
If Carcosa is all there is, then what do you mean it grows thick in certain places? If it's all there is, then what is it about certain vectors in space-time that transmit that influence more effectively? What does that even mean? How does that work? What's the function of that?
Sometimes there are things that, all the time. When the author wrote the play, there were moments in time when the king whispered more. The king made his fever grow especially hot. And in those moments, the king allowed himself to be written deeper, written in a way that is much more lifelike, much more vivid. And in those places, the king maintains a heavier influence. But again, it's really an infection. It's really the kind of thing that persists because it must. And in that way, it is everywhere. But for those places and people that are especially weak, the fever and the sickness grows thick, green, oozing. Dare I use another color beside the one he wears?
It feels like you're avoiding the question. I'm asking, what is the ontological reality upon which this king depends? Is the king God? All of this is starting to sound very biblical to me.
I could understand that, certainly. And I mean, if you would to look up the name Baal or Baphomet, any of those names, perhaps some names of people you've already met. Some of them just so happen to match quite a few demons, but that is not a biblical nature. That is instead a happy circumstance. Truly, a happy circumstance. Really, I believe the best way to describe the way the king exists or doesn't exist, because again, I don't wish to confuse you, but existence is much two-dimensional, much two-dimensional. He's whoever wears the role. Your contact, your handler, your friends, they may become the king. They may become the infection. You could become the king, in fact, yourself, Millstone, if you let the king be within you, and if you let the king drive. It's a pattern of thought that hijacks identity itself. It is...
One time I saw that. I saw, right before all of this started, I saw myself become the king. I was trying to save my daughter. I was trying to save a lot of people. And I saw a bottle, and in that bottle I saw myself. I saw myself in the reflection as a pale king in yellow.
The door slams open, and Ed Wist is there, a whole box of tissues. And you all stare to look as the door slams open and hits the wall, but before you can do a whole lot, Ed has gotten to Baal, and Baal, without even looking, he's got his eyes closed, he's facing away from you, grabs a tissue out of the box, and Ed says, "Is that good? I got the cue?" And Baal turns his head a little bit. You see he's crying, and he says, "Very good. Very good, Mr. Wist. Now, please, you exit stage left." And Ed, somewhat happily, trying to hide his happiness at getting his cue, But he leaves and closes the door quietly behind him. And Bale wipes up, the remainder of the tears, and he says, "I suppose that is really the thing that haunts me, is that the more that investigation happens, the more that people look to find meaning or to find understanding, you just become part of the performance. The world and humanity doesn't hunt for Carcosa. Carcosa uses it to spread."
So then what's the answer? What do you do? What's the right thing to do? Just let it happen? Fucking dissociate? Kill yourself? What's the right thing to do?
He has stopped crying and gets off his books again and goes up to each of you with either a tea kettle or a coffee carafe and fills up the whatever little you've drank. Yeah. And he, I guess, I'm not exactly sure. Libby is not exactly sure, but I'm sure that Bale would know what each of your vices would be if you had them, whether it be cigarettes or, maybe a couple of prescription pain pills or whatever it may be. But whatever your vice would be, and I think I'd like to go around the table and kind of just briefly hear about that. Whatever that vice is, if it's possible to be in a little plastic bag in your mug now, right, in the drink that you're drinking, it is. And if that's not possible based on whatever it is your vice is, let me know and we'll work something out. But let's start with, let's see, I guess we will make Merchant take the spotlight yet again. What would Merchant have floating in the little plastic bag that is his vice?
So Merchant for years has lived with a sleeping disorder, and he cannot sleep without prescription strength sleeping medication.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So yeah, there's a couple of Xanax bars in like a very small little plastic baggie that are floating. I mean, they're safe in the plastic baggie. You could take the bag out, rip it, and eat them if you wanted to. I would imagine that the camera now pans over and we look within Heather's mug.
Yeah. So Agent Miranda, Heather's daughter, has had for these past couple of years one obsession and then a vice that she has used to control it. And her obsession has been with the Broadalbin Hotel and monitoring it. But her actual vice, the thing that she does to not think about it, is it's 2015. She goes online. She finds young people who are not as worldly as she is and not as intelligent as she is, and she takes them out and pays for drinks for them in New York, and then she has meaningless sex with a bunch of people that she thinks are dumber than her. That's fundamentally the only way that she knows how to process any of the obsessive feelings she has is to take another person and reduce them and think of them as just an object, really. And she does that by a bunch of meaningless sex, and in many occasions paying for sex. It's not hard. She lives in New York.
Yeah. So kind of reducing people to put her up higher. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think for you, you would probably see that. Don't let your brain go where I'm going to go too fast, because I promise it'll make a lot of sense. Okay. In the mug, you see art, not the kind of cute coffee art that you get with the nice frothy milk or whatever the fuck. You feel as though, as you look into this mug, you are looking at the complexity of a Rembrandt or of a Van Gogh, and you have almost this kind of, if you want, you kind of get this option. You feel as though if you look deep into that mug, you're gonna get to relive those moments. You're gonna get to relive, those rushes, those chemicals of not only having sex with somebody, but also the realization, the gratifying realization that you are better than they are.
Yeah.
And to do so would be stooping, and that it would be stooping. You're aware, you're not stupid. You know what's going on here. But you have a choice to make. You certainly have a choice. We're going to go around after we get through everybody's vice. I want to hear what choices you make and why, but definitely you know that you could relive that in all the glorious details.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Moving over to Millstone, who I think at this point has been pretty fixated on what's in his mug. Talk to us about it.
So when Bale comes around to Millstone, what he pours into his mug is what appears to be the contents of a spliff. It's like tobacco mixed with wood shavings, just shaved off pieces of hard wood and dumps that into his cup, and then takes a nip of gin with a Broadalbin Hotel label on it, dumps that on top. Just the full nip of gin, pulls out a lighter, an old school Zippo, lights the whole thing on fire, and as that fire burns that mixture to ash, just resting on the surface of the liquid in his cup, and as the smoke rises from that, he smells his wife's perfume.
What does that smell like? Sorry to push you. What does it smell like?
It smells floral, and it smells like failure.
Yeah. It smells like letting somebody down. Mm-hmm.
It smells like a wilted, dead flower.
Yeah, wow. Okay. I got nothing on that one. Holy fuck. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then, the camera finally pans around to Meridian. What's in your cup?
Well, Adam didn't have a cup. He said no originally.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
So Bale offers him a knife.
Yeah.
Which he will pull his shirt up and will reveal a nip. No, he will reveal several scars of all the symbols that were on the box that he's been looking for so long. And he's just cutting a little bit and then a little bit every time, would say, "Fucking piece of shit. That's what you fucking get. You fucking failed him. You fucking failed her. You failed them all."
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I got nothing there either. Yeah. Merchant and Miranda, both of you, I kind of gave a little open end. Both of you are imbibing your respective vices, or are you choosing to? Okay, choosing. So I've got a shake at the head no from Miranda. Tell me more about what you're.
Yeah,
why?
Miranda watches as like the other, like she's like looking at the cup a little bit, but she puts like her focus is often on like tracking what other people are doing, and she sees Bale going around and performing this ritual with the others, and how immediately it captivates Meridian and Millstone. She like goes kind of greenish, looks queasy. She like glances very briefly down at the cup and takes a finger and like runs it through the image and just like shakes it up until it's like an unmitigated like taupe color, like of super well mixed coffee and cream. There's like just flat nothing. She pulls her finger out, shakes her hand off, and kind of like glares at Bale and sets the coffee down on the floor in front of her, sits back up and just like watches not the other agents, not the sounds or smells they're making, but she's staring just directly at Bale specifically.
Okay. Well, Merchant, are you imbibing in your Ambien or Xanax, whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, Merchant is completely oblivious to everything happening around with what everyone else is doing, just staring at the cup. There was something of him that came to life when he was a doctor again. There was something that gave him hope that there was a way to get off the stage. And for him, that felt like a turning point. His care for his friend Millstone, who had gone off the balcony, that he went back for him. His playful fighting with Miranda as they've playfully fought for 20 years. But to rearrange her nose and to do all those things, he felt like he did the day before he got called to go to the McAllister. And then he found out he's going to become this androgynous being. And he met the guy who said, "I've been waiting for you for a long time." And all of that just fell out. The bottom has dropped out. And for Merchant, his vice has been a scrambling attempt at normalcy, because he has spent 72 hours straight trying to write the play, The World Without Doors. Sleeping for him is normal. His vice actually brings him back to his humanity. And so after just staring, no, who cares what everyone else is doing? Merchant just drops the coffee. watches it shatter, and just puts his foot right into the sleep. He has, at this point, no hope that he is anything other than the understudy. He has very little hope of any humanity that matters anymore. To Merchant, his whole life has been about hiding, and now he's just completing the process of hiding any ambitions he may have had, anything he may have hoped for, and training up Haley Greenwich, his grad student, to be the next great forensic psychiatrist. Any hope he had of perhaps admitting he loves someone right now is gone. And so he just grinds his feet into the pill, and just, he's going to become Sunshine. He's going to be the understudy.
Millstone stands up. He takes his flaming mug. It's just got this kind of like simmering blue alcohol flame just kind of like flickering on the surface. He tips it back, just fucking takes the whole contents of the mug, just downs it, and then flips open the cover of the book that he's been sitting on.
None of you can see what's inside the hollowed out book that he's looking inside of right now. But you see his face change, and you definitely see that he has, I would think he has kind of a very ashen look about him, a very pallid look about him, if you will.
Miranda stands to leave, but before she does, she turns to Bale and says, "So what does Carcosa, what drives it? What's the motive force there? Is it just expansion, or is there something that it avers, something that it disavows?"
There is something that the king and Carcosa and everything that it's designed upon and within, there is something that is antithetical, something that is the antithesis of whatever you believe the yellow sign to be, the king to be. I don't know what it is yet, and I surely do not have to tell anybody what it is yet either. But there is something. As far as what makes it go, or drives it, or what eggs it on into the future is the past, and the past is now, and all of the nebulous things you've heard up until this point. The best I can tell you is that Carcosa exists, and the king exists, simply because it must, and because it does. And in the face of all that is holy and well, it continues to be. It must.
Are those things easier to understand if you take Melonia?
He's like, Melonia? No. Well, it depends strictly how you ingest Melonia. It also depends upon whether you can get any. There are very few known sources. I mean, the source of Melonia is well known, but getting it back from where it is harvested is not common. Those who make it to Melonia, or the fields of Melonia, vast, sprawling fields of grain, those folks are much more focused upon the labyrinth that lies ahead and much less focused on the grains. Miss Carver makes it there. Miss Carver does
some pretty fucked up people that bring Melonia back then, huh?
You could say that. Yes.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you, I suppose. I think I need to go apologize to... I wasn't planning to.
Oh, good.
I was just saying goodbye.
Indeed. Indeed. Goodbye, Miranda.
Stage left, and then I just take the only door in the room anyway. Like,
he mutters under his breath, not angrily, but and I don't think you'd hear it, but those that are still in the room probably would hear him say, stage right. Door open, door closed as you leave the room. It was closed when you got there.
Everyone else has been doing it behind me. If it opens for me, if it's not locked, I'm going to close it behind me, and then I'm just going to stand out in whatever chamber or hallway is outside and wait.
Do you want it to open?
I want to be out of the room with Bale. I don't want to be in the room with this guy anymore.
Why?
Why do I not want to be in the room with him?
Yeah.
Because he positions himself as being very knowledgeable about this situation, but appears to have no intrinsic motivation to actually do anything, and I find that deeply frustrating.
Okay. Yeah, you get to the door and you turn the handle, hoping the 8 or 9 locks that were out there are unlocked, and they are.
Great. I'm going
in
to
the
step
hall
out.
Is just the normal, what you would assume that you'd seen when you went in, the door gesture.
Yeah, if Ed's there, I'll make small talk, but otherwise I'm just going to kind of lean on the wall and wait.
Miss
long as it
Carver is
takes.
doing her best impression of, oops, I just so happened to be near the door when you were speaking about the drug I'm addicted to, and says, oh, hi, oh, hello, hey,
Miss
hello.
Carver?
Yes. How's it going? And she, offers to kind of walk with you as you leave the room.
Oh, no such luck, I think, as far as your particular needs are concerned.
Oh, no, I was just walking by.
I know, you were just walking by. I just
Yeah.
mean no luck on the grain. Bale offered us some things, but so
Oh.
it goes.
You carry on small talk down the hall to
Care for some ping pong?
She's like, I would love ping pong. That would be great.
Great. Let's find a table. I'm sure there's one around here somewhere.
There just so happens to be at least one. She walks you kind of back to the main goldfish bowl area. So I think we had mentioned kind of both that Millstone was in and out, but can you clarify for us, Ty? Millstone's still in the room but standing, right? Or
Millstone's still in the room, yes.
Okay. He opened up that book and grabbed whatever was in there, pocketed it, but now he's standing up, and you watched Miranda go. All of you watched Miranda go. Bale is still squatting on his pile of books. The phone has begun to kind of vibrate on the floor and move around a little bit as if there's maybe a ringing or there's some kind of noise issuing from it, but Bale hasn't paid attention to it. So the phone really has no way of ringing, so to speak. The old Bakelite phones ring from the base, but it's kind of vibrating among the floor as if there is sound issuing from it in such a way that you can't hear it. It'd be like if you put a speaker on the floor, it moves around when there's noise coming through it because it's vibrating. That's what's happening with the phone.
Reed's going to step forward toward Bale, look down at the receiver toward his feet, acknowledge that it's vibrating, look up, grab Bale kind of by the back of the neck, just like, not like an aggressive thing, but like you do when you're like, you see your buddy after a long time.
Yeah.
You're just like, fucking,
Come here.
brother.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in this fucking place that knows how to talk about Carcosa like less of a fucking enigmatic, pretentious dickhead?
He says, no.
Well, it was a pleasure then. And he shakes his hand and walks out the door.
As you begin to walk out the door, he says, Millstone, the phone.
That's not for you.
No. Oh, god damn it. He's like, he again uses his big toe to open up the very cover of the page of the book that he's looking at. He says, I always fucking miss this cue. Yeah, it's for you. I was supposed to say, pick it up. Please, it's for you.
Was that a bit of attitude I detected there?
No, sorry. It was for me. I forget the cue. It's not a you problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Because I've been fucking making my cues for like 20 years, so. All right. Grabs the phone, puts it to his ear.
It's the sound of a typewriter smashing the head of Barbas. You know for a fact that thud you heard while you were inside his home, that you just never really put two and two together on, you begin quickly to piece together the facts. You begin to piece together that Merchant was up there, and maybe Barbas was up there, and maybe the typewriter bullshit. Wait a minute, is that the sound of a rivet of a typewriter slamming against the wall? Am I hearing clacking as if there is like someone typing, but all the keys at one time? Is that the sound of someone's head being bashed in all together at one time? And it all just kind of hits you. The phone.
Is that the sound of the low frequency murmur of three very recognizable voices discussing how that string hanging in the middle of a stairwell leading down to a basement is moving on its own in the very, very, very background of what I'm hearing? And as Reed hears that, he feels a certainty that he's felt every now and then over the last many years, but he very rarely is able to acknowledge that certainty to himself. And that's a certainty that at some point, whether that there's a finality to what he does, he's going to have to kill Merchant.
But you don't. Maybe that's
But I don't.
upsetting to hear too. In fact, you're gonna die.
But the certainty is still there.
Oh no, it is. It 100% is.
It's crazy. The cognitive dissonance
Mhm.
of knowing that it's my duty to stop that man, and yet it is me, in fact, that will be stopped.
Yeah, but I think maybe that, and I would offer, and you can take it or not, maybe in the recesses of Millstone's mind in the wacky upside down Alice in Wonderland bullshit world that he's in. Maybe there is a world where he kills Merchant, but Sunshine still lives. If you'd like some solace, that's free. You may have it. You may take or you may leave.
The only solace that Millstone wants is sitting in his pocket.
Bale says, yeah, that's not a great phone call. I always hate watching that phone call. Not because of the sound, but... And he just he looks at you, and for a moment, maybe he even he reaches out and he's not going to even be as quick as you were, but he probably reaches out and offers to do the whole hand on the back of the neck thing for you, right? He just kind of cups his hand there and he's like, yeah. Walking out? Staying in?
Oh, yeah.
Going for a hug?
I'm
Okay.
taking off.
Okay, you're taking off, guys. Oh, very well. Bale says, and then there were two. I believe that the end of the conversation lies with Merchant, but I am a fan of ad-libs. Certainly, Meridian, if you've any else to ask of me, or if you have anything you'd like to say to Merchant, now is a pleasant time. I have plenty of phone calls to take. I don't have to listen.
Meridian will wipe the tears that he was crying the entire time he was cutting himself in front of everyone. Where's the fucking box, Bale?
He had started to pick up the phone to be polite. He thought you were gonna have he lets the phone drop against the floor. You hear it clatter, and for a moment you see something crawling away from the broken phone. And he says, "When you get to the lake, you'll have to go on the ship. That's where it is. You can't miss it. It's in the hold."
Okay.
Meridian, you or a large part of you will likely die there. Well, God, I hate to be so rude, but die is a tough word in the context. I'm trying my best. Make sure all of your affairs are settled, my friend. That ship spells the end of most.
That's what I gotta do.
Yeah, I suppose.
And we'll, if you may, pocket the knife that he was given.
Yep.
And leave.
Nice. Yep.
As he walks out, Merchant will, Meridian, for what it's worth, you don't have to punish yourself. You just leave the box.
It's what I deserve.
Maybe. You might deserve something else too. You don't have to punish yourself.
Ed Wist has walked in front of the open door and says, "Ping pong!" pointing at Meridian.
And he will do a silent yes with his head as he walks out.
Ed Wist gives us his best Tiger Woods winning a thing impression, and then walks off with you to the ping pong table next to a cursing Deborah Carver and a grinning Miranda. The door closes on its own, not in a creepy way, but just in the kind of way that doors do when they're old. It doesn't even latch. It just kind of sits up on the latch as it falls closed.
Merchant will pull it closed.
Nice.
Or push, whatever way it is.
Yeah, push, yeah. And it's when you do that, Bale looks frightened. He's and then he grabs the book off a stack next to me, opens it, he's like, wow, that always surprises me. Oh, he gets off his books. He walks up to you.
They're terrified of me.
He
20 years. I've been working on a play because apparently I told me to.
He sits down on a pile of books that is like the ones you were sitting on. Well, he sits on millstones, whatever. So he's on your level, not on the stack of high books. Whenever you stop naturally, he'll definitely pipe up. But he he does the very nice active listening, listening cues.
Yeah. Merchant kind of steps toward him, kind of frantically, that kind of motioning at the coffee, just annoyed. Meridian, after we spoke, or last, I made Meridian make a deal to kill me if I went too far, and he did. Can I even leave? What am I now?
Would it help you to know?
I hope so. Am I the understudy? Am I the writer? Am I the new author? Am I slated to become something? Do I kill them?
He takes the active listening. He's got his legs are kind of shoulder width apart. He's resting on his legs now, looking at the floor, not at you. He's clearly grappling with something. It sounds to me, Merchant, as if you'd like me to give you meaning. I don't mean to belittle your request either. It's
No, I'm not asking for meaning. I'm coming to grips with the fact that there is none. I'm a closed loop. All this time, I thought there was a way out. Not for me. I knew there was never a way out for me, but for them, for Miranda, for Meridian, for Reed. I thought there was a way out. There was a way to write the play, and all it is was me screwing with myself, lying to myself.
You're not sure if a box of tissues was there sitting on the book stack next to you or if it appeared, but I'm not sure if you care. Certainly, Bale grabs one.
Yeah. After Bale does, Merchant just swats it away.
Nice. Bale's crying again. And it doesn't, like, I really want to be clear, it does not seem like he's disingenuous. Like, he's with you, it seems like he's feeling all the emotions he should be feeling. And he says, Merchant, their death is the way out. They each have a way out. At the end of this, they will all be gone. And when they return through it once again, as we all do, they will feel the way they feel up until now. But at about this time, I would frankly say intermission at the chance of being a little bit too coy. They need it. As grim or as morbid as it might seem, they need it. They need to know that they are destined for death. None of us get that luxury, or most of us do not. The top chicks and the carvers and the night managers and the dogs, and they all know that at the end they will be again, once more, again and again and again, and for no part of their lives will they be disenchanted of the fact that they are just in a play. But for each of your friends, they will be at least somewhat merry, at least somewhat hopeful. For a bit, then they'll become sad in the first and second act, and then they'll hit intermission, get some popcorn, and realize that there is an end to the show. That's why they get to die. And the reason that you have to keep living is because you have something that they do not have. You have the ability to know.
To know what?
To know what's inside every bottle.
What's inside every bottle?
He's about to say it out loud, but he looks over at the receiver, which has turned face up, such that the mic and the ear are now facing up and could hear. So he says, I'm always supposed to shout this. Never feels right. And he motions for you to come in for a whisper.
Knowing that there's probably an ear-piercing cry that's about to break me in half, Merchant will lean forward.
You lean in and he whispers in your ear, and certainly the cast and crew of this show and the listeners, no one will know what he whispers in your ear. Only you will know. And for anyone who's listening, this is not a part of Impossible Landscapes. This is a Libby original. No one will know what is whispered inside of Merchant's ear, except for Merchant will know. And so he leans away from the whisper. Tell me what your reaction, what Merchant's reaction is after you hear this uttered to you.
Merchant just starts laughing.
Good.
Perhaps for the first time in years, to where the laugh starts sounding like him trying to say a new word.
He joins you. Bale joins you in this just growing, to say it's insane laughter is so fucking ugh, but really it's just the depths of insanity. It really is just everything that it's all there. All the emotions are just inside this fucking sound you're making. It's just it's evil. It's disgusting. You hate that it's happening, but you're both almost involuntarily, right? Just going. And then you stop probably. Bale does.
Right. Yeah, after a while.
Yeah, Bale does. Or no time at all, right? But fuck.
Right. Yeah, what does time even mean?
He says
after laughing for a while, Merchant will go over to the fallen tissues and pick one up and kind of dab his eyes. I haven't laughed in a long time.
Bale says, pretty good joke, right?
The best kind. I'll help them find what they're looking for.
Everyone's got a bottle. Hope they find theirs.
Everyone
has one. And they're inside the maze, Merchant. Inside the maze. With the Melonia. And he grabs you by the arm as if you're kind of walking down the aisle at a wedding. He's got arm in arm together. He's walking. He's like, now in about a moment or two, the stagehand is going to ring the bell that signifies that you're going to leave this wretched place. Or stay here, right? And he
right.
And when that happens, go get your friends playing ping pong. Miss Carver's going to kill Miranda any moment here. And no one likes to see Edwist cry, except for, I suppose, Meridian. So gather them and we'll go to the show together. Get you out of here.
Thank you.
At that, he clearly loses. He's so happy. Like he just gains glee. Like he's just like, he feels fulfilled, in that moment when you say thank you, and he says, "It is the least that you deserve." And at that, you hear the sound of a loud gong. The same gong you've heard, I think, a couple of times now. That kind of warbles through the hall. Wallpaper kind of starts to scratch and kink all together as if it's got the gong has some kind of like tangible effect on the decorations. The laminate flooring, you see bits kind of start to peel up at the corners, and the molding on the walls, the crown molding and all that, just starts to bend and curve as though, the depths of non-Euclidean space live in the vibration that this thing just made. And now everybody in the space is looking at the ping pong tables, I guess, and wherever Reed has positioned himself, and at you. And it almost seems like now that very clearly an audience is gathered. Very clearly the members of the McAllister, LOL. I mean, some of them are there. The members of the Dorchester that are all around that some of, the Top Chick, and the Manuels, and Deborah Carver, all these folks that you've kind of met and talked about. All of these people are now gathered around, kind of about to watch you make your exit. Bale says, "The show. You know what? You're going to like it so much you just might die." And that's where we'll end.
We did it. We did so good.
We did so good,
Wow.
actually.
There it is.
Doing so good, actually, is the thing.
It's almost time for a long rest, and then we can.
We're going to
go.
Who has
to-
rations?
My
Can-
torch has flickered one too many times. Oh, wow.
Damn. I'll cast
There'll
light
be
on
a
your
band
shield.
of goblins, and we can kill those guys. And
Let's see. Thing I'm supposed to plug. My tush, but also, nice. No, I got hooked in the fuck. We have a Discord. We have a show. We do. We have a fucking, I don't know. We have other stuff. We have a YouTube channel. Oh. You should probably look on the YouTube channel if you're just listening in the audio. You're not as cool as everybody else is. So, I don't know.
yeah, if you like having your immersion broken
Yeah?
by just looking at our fucking stupid bitch faces, check
Right,
out
Max?
the YouTube.
Speak for you. I'm not a player by name.
If you want to see what a just disgusting man Charlie is,
What a creature.
youtube.com/
My hair's
@nullprime.
back, baby. That's all that counts. That's all that counts.
YouTube.com. My hair is
Yeah.
back, baby. That's what.
It took zero time at all. It's crazy, man.
I know.
There are
You're
chia
a
pets that
fucking
grows more
chia
slowly.
pet, dude. That's what I was gonna say. He's a literal fucking human chia pet.
Wild. You guys are crazy. Seriously. Literally. I think that was a good session. Goodbye, viewers. Wait, I'm supposed to say goodbye. Goodbye, viewers. It's like fucking reading
Peace,
Rainbow.
y'all.
You're not part of this. anymore.
Reading Rainbow.
Go.
Is that copyright? Fuck. It's in a book. Reading
Eat
Rainbow.
my ass.
Read my ass.
Read my ass, dude? We can't say read
Count my
ass.
dick.
We can't. The censorship.
1, 2, wait.
Ha, ha, ha. Well done, everyone.
I clipped when I said that. I clipped when I said count my dick.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna have to cut
I'm
that.
proud of you. It's all good.
Not my dick, but
And we stop recording now,
Ty has a
yeah.
please.
Before we sign off, I want to take a moment to talk about something very close to my heart. This podcast is about exploring darkness and fear, but in real life, those feelings can be overwhelming. I want to remind you that if you're feeling lost, lonely, or struggling, you don't have to face it alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're in the U.S., you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, for free, confidential support 24/7. Wherever you are, there are resources and there is hope. You matter and your story matters.